Ever wondered how can you calculate riskiness of a stock? If you know the answer, comment your answers in the comment section. If you don't, here's a solution for you. So in finance world, there is a variable called as beta, which is nothing but the measure of riskiness. But how do you calculate beta? So for calculating beta of a stock, first of all you need to find an appropriate market or an appropriate comparable index for your stock. For example, if your stock is, let's say, a small cap stock, so Nifty 250 small cap can be taken as an index. This was just an example for your reference. You can choose according to your judgment which index you have to choose. Then you take data of both your stock price and the index price. Now you can take multiple datas. For example, you can take a 10-year monthly to compare, or 5-year weekly is something very common in market, so that can be taken. Now what you do is you take, let's say you have taken 5-year weekly, you calculate the change in price each week for both your stock as well as your index. Now why are we doing this? So in finance world or in academic world, volatility equals to risk. Because we cannot put risk into a math formula, they assume that volatility equals to risk. Or in other words, if we take index as our reference, that how much our index is volatile, if my stock is more volatile, that means my stock is more riskier. For example, if let's say our beta comes to be around 2, that means that if my index price moves 1% upwards, my stock price moves 2% upwards. Or my index price moves 1% downwards, my stock price moves 2% downwards, and vice versa for the negative one. So this is how you interpret beta. The simple formula for beta is percentage average change in stock price upon percentage average change in index price. But if you have been there in the market and calculate beta, you know this is not as simple to execute. We use something called as regression analysis to calculate beta. Now how do you calculate it? If you know the answer, again comment it. If you don't, stay tuned for part 2.